Make it into our newly renovated facility that is in the process of being restaffed and refurnished and everything. Don't turn that on yet. As you know, we did not have an admin meeting for lack of a quorum, and as our little bit different rules call for, before we call this meeting to order, we will first ask if there is anyone that wants to come forward and address the commission. I know we have at least one individual, so at this time we'll ask if anyone wants to come and address the commission. Now's the time to do it. State your name and.
My name's Lynn Bridges. I lived at 1700 Hickory Grove Road, Cottonwood, Alabama. This month was a year ago, somewhere about 12th or the 26th. I came up here with a problem. I failed to do a couple of things. I failed to ask for a response from y'all in a timely manner as to the scope and when that was scheduled to be done. I'm now asking for that to be done. We had a unofficial agreement to correct the problem. That's the water problem. I will have to say one thing. The last time that we came up here and had the little meeting out of the public, Chairman Culver, that problem has so far been rectified and is working at this time. But if you would, please give me some kind of schedule of correcting this problem, because it's been a year in the making. We've done no progress. I'd like a scope of work, date of beginning, and about how long it's going to take to do whatever we're going to do. I don't think that's too much. Would you think so?
I will certainly get with our engineer, and we will send you communication as to what can or can't be done. I know we have sent a communication at one time about what needed to be done, but I will get with them, and we will get you something stating either a time frame or what needs to be done for a time frame.
Well, I'm 70 years old, and I'd like it, corrected while I'm still here, because I don't want my wife dealing with it.
I got you.
If you understand what I mean.
I do.
We've been married 49 years, and I'd like to keep going for right now, if you would let me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
We will call to order the August 11th meeting, regular session of the Houston County Commission. We do have a quorum present, as all commissioners are in attendance. Again, want to welcome everyone to our new digs. Glad to have you back, and I can tell you we are glad to be back. Our invocation today will be led by Reverend Clark Cornelius, if he is here. Is Clark here? I failed to try to find him before the meeting. Then our invocation will be led by Reverend Curtis Harvey. And our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Commissioner Jackie Battles, if you'll all stand. Thank you, Commissioners. You each have copies of the minutes from the preceding meeting. If we can have a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Harvey. Second by Commissioner McClendon. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Got several announcements this morning and comments. Again, it is good to be back. We are continuing to move. I think 6th floor will move tomorrow, and 5th floor tomorrow and the next day, and 1st and 2nd floor, I believe, next week. We will all be back in and finished by the end of the month, probably before that, but I'm going to say the end of the month to be safe. We will do some media type notification, but we want to give the public the opportunity to come into their facility on the first Friday in September between 9 and 11, just to wander around and look and find out where things are if they choose to. That would be the 6th, I think, is that right? Anybody know the first Friday? 5th? And just to see what the changes are, to see where what your tagline looks like now, to see what our offices look like, commission chambers, and everything else, if you want to do that. We'll be getting out more on that. I want to recognize Thank you for being here.
I'm so sorry. Went to the building and they sent me Civic Center. So
That's okay. That's okay. We will have you at another meeting, and you are welcome to stay, and we'll even let you do a benediction at the end if you'd like.
I apologize to everyone.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Thank you. I want to recognize, and if he would like, ask to come forward, Sheriff, what are you, Sheriff-elect, or not, no, not Sheriff-elect, Sheriff in a week, Donald Valenza, Sheriff Donald Valenza. We are very glad to have you as our incoming sheriff. You know, you've been here longer than some of us, and anybody that's been here longer than me is pretty moldy around here. So we are glad to have you. We look forward to working with you, and I want to encourage everyone, next Tuesday at 3 o'clock, there's a reception in the jury holding room at the courthouse for Sheriff Hughes. And then next Thursday at 3, or this coming Thursday, tomorrow is Sheriff Hughes. This coming Thursday at 3 o'clock will be the swearing in of Sheriff Valenza, and we look forward to nothing but great relationship with you, and we've always had that in your many years with 5 different sheriffs over the years, and we don't look for anything but the best. And congratulations to you and your family and the staff, and you're welcome to come and make any comments you would like at this time if you so desire. No, up here. You got to be on the microphone. All right.
He's got to get used to it.
Yeah, you got to always be on a microphone at a commission meeting, so you'll be on the tape. So.
I've always avoided cameras, but I know I got to get used to it. No, I look very forward to still working with y'all. You know, anytime y'all need anything, of course, all you got to do is call us. And the same, same for the public, same for any of them. But I am looking forward to working with y'all, and whatever you need, just please give me a call.
Okay. We'll remember that. Thank you very much. All right. Is Brittany still here? Oh. Now I wanted to recognize her newest addition. Brittany Clayton from Road and Bridge had her little baby here. Everybody was Googling over earlier, and wanted to recognize her. I want to recognize Miss Tammy Culver and Hayden Camp with the Dothan Education Foundation, who are here and are checking out our new building today, and also just supporting the commission in our meeting. Glad to have you two here, always. Other announcements from anyone? Got other guests that are part of the meeting, but we'll recognize them as we go through. Any other announcements from anyone? Commission? All right. Moving on to the regular agenda then. The first item on the agenda is a request from the Retirement Systems of Alabama to adopt a resolution for a one-time lump sum payment to retirees and beneficiaries of deceased retirees. As you all know, first of all, again, remind you that we are operating under our amended rules because of no admin meetings, so we'll have discussion, or can have discussion in advance of motions if necessary. But I'll remind you that the Alabama legislature passed a bill last year that allowed a one-time bonus, if you will, to retirees. It has been many years since state retirees and others that participate in the state retirement system has had any kind of COLA. They chose to do a bonus instead of a COLA, which only impacts the state one time. Mr. Dempsey may can explain it better than I, but it doesn't. It's not a one-time hit on our budget. It comes when the following year.
15-16 is when this would is when we would actually be making a payment back to the retirement system.
Yeah, so this will not hit our budget this coming year that we're currently working on. It won't hit it until 15-16. So I know I have received many, many calls from our retirees. We have always tried to do whatever the state does for their employees, for our employees. And as I said, it has been a while. When we had our budget hearing and talked about this, we discussed it, and so it is up for debate, discussion, or motion at this point as to whether or not we adopt the resolution.
Bill, give us a little bit more information on that. Can you go a little bit more and tell exactly what's going on? I see where we're making a one-time lump sum payment of $75,000. I mean, what is it really for?
Well, the four is, as Chairman Culver said, it's, for lack of a better word, it's a COLA. It's some additional payment to retirees. I think since I've been here 7 years, I think we've made maybe once before, maybe twice. It's been several years since we have. The payment would, I called the state last week to confirm, and the payment would be made to the former employees October-ish, November-ish, in other words, about 3 or 4 months from now. But the county won't be required to repay that money until we begin 2015-16, and then we will make that payment back as part of our contribution rate to the state. So that will be spread out over, some months during 15-16.
And when is the last time we did this? Historically?
4 or 5 years
At least.
that I can recall.
I don't think we've
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
done.
since I've been here.
I don't think we've ever done a bonus. I mean,
Not about. There was a lump sum. There was a lump sum.
oh, there
one
has been.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems like it was 2008.
2008.
Yeah. I think, as I said, since I've been here 7 years, I believe this is the second time that this has been proposed. The first time it was approved.
Well, I think they deserve it. I just to make sure we're not retroing that every other year. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
No. It used to be years ago, the state would always, or try to do a COLA,
Right.
and of course, when you do a COLA, that COLA is there every year, and, you add on to it, just like, we do employees, and so they've decided to look at this bonus system, which is a one-time payment this year, but it's not there next year, so it obviously costs the state a lot, far less. And the payment comes from the retirement system, right?
That's right.
Right, not from us, but from the retirement system. Other questions or comments? Or motion?
So moved.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Harvey, second by Commissioner Battles. Comments, questions from anyone? All in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 2 is a request from EMA to approve a grant agreement between the Alabama Department of Public Health and Houston County EMA in the amount of $10,000 to assist the county Strategic National Stockpile Program. Questions for EMA Director or motions?
Let's give a little history. Can you give us some history behind that also?
Come on up, EMA Director.
I know what stockpile is. I don't know what national stockpile.
Okay, what was your question, sir?
Just give us a little history behind this. Exactly what we're doing here. What are we contributing to?
Okay,
What that-
the health department puts out they give us a grant every year, usually in the amount of $10,000 for training purposes, for buying equipment and stuff like that we use at the RDS, the receiving distribution site located here in Houston County. And what it is the national stockpile in the event if we had something like, say, a pandemic or a disaster that would require pharmaceuticals or medical equipment supplies, anything that we would need to help with this type situation, they would fly it in to us and we would receive it here. Now, we have 8 counties that are in the health department's Area 10. And we receive everything into Houston County, and then the other counties would come to Houston County and receive their shipments. And that's how that works.
So Houston County is the only entity that's receiving the $10,000?
Yeah, this year, the decision was made that we would use the $10,000 in Houston County, not break it up to the 8 counties. We're going to use that money we're going to have an exercise either in January or February of next year. And also, we're going to purchase some more equipment for the RDS site, tables, chairs. We're going to purchase a new pallet jack and repair the current pallet jacks that we have there, do maintenance on them.
So basically, Houston County is the distributing agent holistically for all the other counties.
Yes, that is correct. For the southeast region, we have certain areas and you have to have certain requirements in order to be an RDS site. Mainly, you got to be able to get the shipments into us,
Right.
either rail, airplanes. We have an airport and railways and tractor trailers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Other questions or motions? Motion by Commissioner Battles, second by, which one of y'all? Commissioner Harvey.
Okay.
Comments? Questions? All in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Item number 3 is request for a 050 retail beer license for OM 1414 LLC, doing business as Z-Tech, West US Highway 84, Newton, Alabama. I believe that's code name for Wicksburg. Anyone here in objection to this liquor license? Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner McClendon. Second by Commissioner Battles. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Request for a 070, item number 4, request for an 070 retail table wine license, off-premise only, for OM 1414 LLC, DBA Z-Tech at 13668 West US Highway 84 West, Newton, Alabama. Anyone here in opposition to this request? Do we have a motion? Motion by Commissioner McClendon. Second by Commissioner Singfield. Comments, questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5, request from the Houston County Water Authority for an $80,000 appropriation. A little bit of a comment here. As you all know, we for several years now have been funding, and Danny McNeil, the chairman of the Water Authority, the board of the Water Authority is here. We have been funding the Water Authority because of some issues related to a bond issue that they did, and the revenue not coming in from as hoped. They have been somewhat short on revenue that was anticipated. Our position with them has always been that we are not going to let them falter. The Water Authority serves a great purpose. It's actually 2 purposes. They provide water to a lot of people. They are also the governing entity on where lines are allowed to go in the county. We have told them, and I believe and I hope our position continues to be, that we are there to support them. Beginning of this past budget year, we cut the amount of money that we provide to them significantly in hopes that a rate increase, along with some potential growth down 231, would allow that decrease in the budget to suffice. Those things, the growth that we had hoped for, did not happen, and those things did not happen. So, we're now here at the end of the budget year, and for them to meet their obligations in their budget that are required by the bonds that they have in place, they now need our support again. And I think at this point, in order to protect our bond rating, as well as to continue to support them, this is an appropriation that we really have very little choice in making. On a bigger note, I will tell you, we are working on some things together to provide some additional revenue to the Water Authority, some contractual increase in billing, not rate increase, but hopefully some revenue enhancement to them. I think we've got another bond we're looking at possibly refinancing. So we're working to make things better for the Water Authority, to meet their obligations and to make the commitment that the commission has to make as small as possible. But, you know, again, I think our commitment to them is that we have to make sure they are able to operate and they are able to meet their obligations, not just from a cash flow basis, but from a basis of having the cash balances that are required by their bond documents. So with all that, I would ask for any comments by the commission or questions, or
So,
a motion by Commissioner Harvey. We got a motion by Commissioner Harvey. Do we? Well, wait a minute. We got a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Okay. Hearing no second, the motion dies. Okay. Anything else? Staff reports? I think that is potentially very damaging to the Houston County Commission not to appropriate this money. I'm just telling y'all.
and our bond rate.
What we want to do is ask questions.
Well,
I thought we were gonna ask questions.
but there was a motion on the floor. You can ask questions.
Can we
I'm just saying,
reimpose-
don't let it move on. Ask
Can
your
we
question.
reimpose the motion or?
Yeah.
Okay, reimpose the motion, the question, open.
Okay, he pulled his motion, so now ask your question. There you go. If there's a motion on the floor, I have to address the motion first, is all I'm saying.
I'd like for Mr. McNeil to come to the
There you go.
pedestal, please.
Yeah, you can ask questions if there's a motion. I just have to address the motion first.
Yes, sir.
Mr. McNeil, do your board members meet on a regular basis
As we need to.
as you
I
need?
mean, we don't meet just to meet. If there's not business that needs to be discussed, because it's a non-paying position, and basically, I'm not saying volunteers, but it's just people that y'all have appointed to be on the board. And like I said, just to meet, we don't meet just to meet unless there's business that needs to be discussed.
I guess my biggest question is your board members, are they up on speed on everything that's going on and what's happening, and anytime there's purchases going on, are they all brought up to speed?
Yes, sir. I mean, they all get a monthly, I mean, we mail out, agenda items or anything that has come up that's mailed to each individual. And there's telephone conversations and et cetera. And we have a meeting coming up next week dealing with this funding issue.
But you only meet when as needed? right?
Yes.
What is one of the biggest reasons that you're facing your funding issues right now?
Excuse me?
What is one of the biggest reasons that you're facing this funding issue?
Well, we have the monies that were spent for some of the issues, and as Chairman Culver spoke of, we had anticipation of some increases coming on the 231 South project
Gotcha.
that did not come through.
Totally understand.
And we're still left with that. We put the infrastructure in, and then
Can't really fund
I
it.
guess the business didn't come as we were thinking it was coming. So we're still left with that monthly. I mean, we borrowed the money, put the infrastructure in, but now the income is not coming in to cover the expenditures.
Me personally, I feel like, Houston County Commission, Houston County Water Authority, that's our baby. I mean, that's what it is.
Mr. Chairman, I have a
Yes, sir.
question for Mr. McNeil.
Yes, sir.
I noticed, and I won't give the amount, but you have the reserve, some reserve. Is that what you'll be asking to keep you from financial distress by not using
Well-
any of that?
Well, we had to borrow, I mean, we had obligations and we had to borrow money from that reserve, which is emergency reserve. And we had to
bar from it depleted, so to speak, and that's what this request was to put that back in, that we had spent. And that's,
We just, they pay it and we pay back the reserve.
Other questions?
Is this a problem that we will continue to have?
Uh,
And what-
again, it all depends on the growth that is expected on the 231 corridor, and, with the Chinese symposium and the things that was not projected, but hopefully that was coming, we had to put the infrastructure in to show or to have it available, but things just sort of fell through. So again, we're still left holding the bag. So, we've got to make those payments for what was installed. And there's still the potential.
We've been funding the Water Authority now for several years. I mean, there's been years when it's been over $100,000, and, there was 1 year when it was 60 or 80, and then this past year we cut it down to like 36,000 in hopes that it would recover. I think that we got a letter from them now asking for 110 next year, and we're
Right.
working on some things, as he said, redo some bonds that we think we
Right.
can save some money over the next 4 years. We're working on potentially an increase in a potential billing of a customer that will help. And then, so that they end up getting more revenue, and honestly, that we don't end up having to fund them $110,000 a year either. So it's I hate to say it that way, but a win for them and a win for us too. So, but the fact of the matter is, we probably are going to have to continue to fund them for some years to come. Yeah. Until we generate some business. Now, there are a lot of good things going on, down 231, not just in Alabama, that potentially could enhance the use of water in the Houston County water system. And, we hope that happens. Obviously, yeah. Our distribution park, if we could get a good user down there, that would help. So there are a lot of good things that could offset this problem, and